Before maps gave it a name, this desert existed in silence, waiting, unchanged for centuries. Then, in 1897, something shimmered beneath the dust. Gold.
That single discovery was enough to wake the desert. Within weeks, men arrived, bringing hope, ambition, and noise. A town rose almost overnight, shaped by belief more than certainty. They called it Berlin, a name chosen not for location, but for ambition. The name reflected dreams of permanence and importance. Every sunrise meant another chance at fortune. The mines promised wealth, but demanded everything in return.
Berlin wasn't just a camp, it was a functioning town.
Families planned futures here, believing the town would last.
Berlin looked forward, never imagining how quickly time could stop.
The mines were productive, but fragile.
No one knew this town was already living on borrowed time.
Berlin was alive, but the clock had started ticking.
This is where Berlin begins, before time decides to stop.
The ore here was unusually pure, drawing attention far beyond Nevada.
Experts examined the rock and saw long-term potential.
Berlin adopted mining methods ahead of its time.
This wasn't guesswork, it was engineered extraction.
Safety and efficiency mattered here. Berlin felt less like a gamble and more like a plan.
The numbers supported the belief.
Investors didn't just fund Berlin, they committed to it.
Temporary tents gave way to permanent walls. Berlin was designed to last. Supply lines meant stability.
People didn't come to pass through. They came to stay.
A future was imagined here.
Everything pointed forward. Berlin broke the pattern of temporary mining camps. Brick meant intention. Brick meant staying. Unlike tent camps, Berlin was built to endure.
A school meant families believed in tomorrow.
Education was planned, not postponed.
The hotel welcomed visitors and future investors. Berlin expected strangers to become residents. A post office connected Berlin to the world.
Letters carried news, money, and hope.
At the center of Berlin stood a machine that never slept.
But reliance can become a weakness.
The stamp mill was the town's heartbeat.
Day and night, it crushed stone into promise.
Every ounce of hope passed through this system.
The mill consumed water, labor, and time.
Men worked in shifts, so the mill wouldn't stop.
Berlin ran 24 hours a day.
The town's breath was mechanical.
Every mine led here.
This was the moment everything depended on.
Berlin was built around this machine.
The sound of the mill meant security.
If the mill stopped, everything stopped.
As long as it ran, Berlin lived.
This machine kept Berlin alive until it didn't.
The gold didn't disappear. It simply grew harder to reach.
The quality of the ore began to change. More labor produced less reward. Extraction meant going deeper and spending more.
Costs rose quietly, day by day.
The numbers began to shift.
Profit was no longer guaranteed.
The mill still ran, but processed less.
Each cycle produced less than the last.
Men began to notice the change.
Confidence gave way to caution.
Supplies slowed.
Berlin didn't panic, but it felt the shift.
The future became uncertain.
The signs were small, but unmistakable. Berlin was still alive, but no longer certain.
Stables meant movement and permanence.
People didn't just work here, they lived here.
These were stable homes, not temporary shelters.
Every detail pointed to permanence.
Berlin had community, not just industry.
This was a town that believed it had time.
Berlin looked permanent, even as time quietly slowed.
Berlin looked like a town that would grow old, not disappear.
In 1911, the noise stopped.
The mining company shut its doors without warning.
The heart of Berlin stopped beating. Hundreds of men stood still, unsure what came next.
Jobs vanished in a single decision.
The tunnels were closed forever.
Machines stood exactly where they were left.
Without work, the town lost its reason to exist.
When people left Berlin, they didn't erase it.
They simply stood up and walked away.
Meals were never finished.
Beds remained ready for people who never returned.
Bottles waited, still sealed.
Tools rested exactly where hands last placed them. Letters were left unread.
Messages arrived long after voices were gone. Lessons stopped mid-page.
Departure was meant to be temporary. Time replaced people.
No alarms. No destruction. Berlin didn't die.
It stopped.
And the town remained, exactly as it was left.
Berlin isn't abandoned. It's preserved by absence.
Berlin froze in real time.
Commerce stopped immediately.
Letters arrived, but no one stayed to read them.
Families began to leave within days.
There was no dramatic exodus, just quiet movement.
Children's voices disappeared first.
The town didn't collapse. It paused.
And in that pause, Berlin was left behind by time.